Alright, this is Algebra 1. This is Cycle 3, notes on combining like terms. Now, I kind of disregarded this top half of the notes here because the wording was kind of confusing. So basically, we're going to talk about how do we combine like terms, but in order to understand how to combine like terms, you first have to know what a like term is. So let's write what a like term is. So, like terms. Like terms must have the same variable and same, what's this same there? Has the same variable and the same exponent. Right? So like terms are terms that have the same variable and the same exponent. So now we're going to, again, skip that top part there. We're going to scroll down to where it says adding. Now, there are three ways we're going to combine like terms in this class. One is adding, which is here. One is subtracting, which is down here. And on the back side is multiplication. We do not do division in this class. That is going to be for Algebra 2. So just adding, then subtracting, then multiplying. So adding is the easiest one, so that's what we're going to do first. Adding like terms is simply just combining the terms that are alike, literally grouping them together into one term. So for example, 6x and 9x, if we were to group them up like 6 apples and 9 apples, we would have 15 apples, or 15x. Now I also like to, once I've combined them, I like to cross them out just so I don't confuse myself on what I have left. And then finally, 7 and a negative 1. 7, it's literally 7 minus 1, which is 6. So you can see here addition is pretty simple. You literally are just grouping together terms to form one term. So when looking at the try these down here, A and B, we look for like terms, and it looks like the m's are alike, okay, and because they have the same variable and they have the same exponent. So when we combine them, literally again grouping them together. So 2m and negative 8m make negative 6m. Cross them out. 4 and 5 make 9. And that's it. That is simplifying by combining like terms. So do the same thing over here for B. 9x and negative 7x are like terms, so we're going to group them into one. So 9 and negative 7 makes 2x. Cross them out. And then negative 3y and positive 2y make negative 1y. That's simple. Okay. Now let's look at subtraction. Subtraction is slightly more complicated because there's something you have to do first. Now, subtraction, you'll notice here with the addition ones, you had this plus sign in the middle between them. Well, in the subtraction ones, you have a minus sign in the middle. Okay? This minus sign changes the problem slightly because now, instead of adding, you're just grouping them into one term. Here, you're taking away. So this minus sign means that you're doing, you have this, you have 2x plus 5, and then you're going to take away x and negative 8. Because you're taking away from both of them, the minus sign needs to be actually distributed to both the x and the negative 8. The reason it's distributed is because if we dig a little deeper here, this negative sign, technically there is a 1 in there. Okay, technically there's a -1 in there, and just like any other number attached to parentheses, we need to distribute the -1 into the parentheses. So what ends up happening is, let me just rewrite 2x plus 5. Once we distribute the -1, -1 times x is -x. -1 times -8 is +8. Okay? Now, once we distribute that negative, we do exactly what we did above and combine like terms. So 2x and a -x make 1x. And a 5 and an 8 make +13. So where it says always, we're always going to distribute the negative. Okay. So let's look at these down here at the bottom for A and B. Again, this negative needs to be distributed. So essentially, when you do a negative times a negative, this is going to be a positive. And a negative times a negative, this becomes a positive. So essentially, the signs just physically change. And since we distributed the negative, this negative in the middle now changes to a positive as well. Okay, so all I did was distribute it just like I did up there. If you want to see me do it the long way, I can. So here is the original problem. Minus 3, -3b, and -7. Alright, so let me do this the long way. Again, there's a -1 here, and I'm going to distribute it. Now I have v minus 9, and -1 times -3 is positive 3v. -1 times -7 is positive 7. Now do you see how that matches down here? Okay. All you do when you distribute that negative, all it does is change the sign. That's it. So now, once this is a positive in the middle, I can simply just do what I did before and group them together, combine like terms. 1v and 3v make 4v. -9 and +7 make -2. Okay. So let's look at B, or at B. After we distribute this negative, again, the signs just change. That's it. This in here is a positive 8a, so it's going to become a negative 8a. This is a positive 6b, so it's going to become a negative 6b. So now I can just combine my terms. 7a and -8a is -1. -13b and -6b is -19b. And that's combining like terms using subtraction. So addition, easy. Just combine, clump them into one term. The like terms turn them into one. Subtraction, you need to distribute the negative first, then group them together into one term. And now finally for multiplication, we're going to flip over to that. Okay. With multiplication, the rules change just slightly. Okay. With addition, you added them together, clumped them together. Subtraction, you had to distribute the negative, then you could clump them together. With multiplication, you don't really need to sort of change anything. You're just going to clump them together. Now, I want to warn you, okay, this is a pre-warning. What we are doing right now only happens for multiplication. Okay, addition and subtraction are different. This only, right here what we're doing now, this only happens when you are multiplying. Okay? Okay, that's the pre-warning. 3 times 3. Now, you would probably say that that's 9, right? But another way to write 3 times 3 is 3 squared. Now, the reason why it is 3 squared, or 3 to the second, is because 3 is being multiplied times itself twice. You have 3 times 3. 3 is being multiplied twice. So that's why it is 3 squared. The same thing can happen when you work with variables. So when you do x times x times x times x, x is being multiplied by itself 4 times. So that is x to the 4th. Well, what if we have a number in front of these variables, like we do here with 4 and 3? Numbers that are in front of variables, they're called coefficients. A number that's in front of a variable like that is called a coefficient. When you multiply coefficients, you multiply them just like you would any other problem. So 4 times 3 is just a regular 4 times 3, which is 12. The x's, however, do what you did up here. Okay, x is being multiplied by itself twice here. There's one here and one here. That's twice. So that becomes x squared. Down here, again, numbers, coefficients get multiplied like normal. So 7 times negative 2 is negative 14. X's are multiplied by itself. There's 1 here and 1 here. That makes for 2. For y's, there's none here, but there are 2 here. So when you get them together, none and 2 here, that means there's a total of 2. And that's your final answer. Okay? So let's look at it in action. Okay? We're going to disregard example number 1 for now. And move on to example number 2, or well, let's just say example 4. So as we look at this here, now the 3x squared, there's nothing going on over here, so we're just going to kind of leave it there. We do have to distribute, though, this negative 2. So I'm going to go ahead and distribute that. Negative 2 times 4 is negative 8. Negative 2 times negative x squared. Negative times a negative makes a positive. 2 times x squared is 2x squared. Okay. Now, since nothing happened to the 3x squared, we're just going to bring it down. Okay. From here, we do what we did before, combine like terms. Notice that these have the same variable and the same exponent, so we can clump them into one. 3x squared and 2x squared make 5x squared. Okay, and what's left over is the negative 8. Okay, so we're going to go through here, and we're going to, with the try these, we're going to distribute, and we're going to distribute here too. So let's shift these up. Okay, negative 3 times 4 is negative 12. Negative 3 times negative x, negative times a negative is a positive. 3 times x is 3x. Over here, 2 times x is positive 2x. 2 times negative 7 is negative 14. Again, combine like terms. Always do the letters first. Always do the variables first in alphabetical order. So we got to do the x's first. 3x squared plus 2x squared is 3x plus 2x is 5x. Remember, some people were confused. How come it's not 5x squared? How come we don't add the x's here? Because remember what I told you with the warning. That only applies up here. Okay, you only add up the exponents when you are multiplying. Look, multiplication, multiplication, multiplication. So I add the exponents, it makes x to the fourth. Down here, there is no multiplication. In fact, there's addition in between them, not multiplication. So we do not add the exponents. Simply the coefficients. 3 plus 2 is 5x. Okay, again, you only add the exponents when you are multiplying. Okay, and the negative 12, negative 14 makes negative 6. Okay, and the b, okay, we have to distribute here, and we have to distribute to all of these as well. This one has 3 terms inside the parenthesis. 1, 2, 3. So we have to distribute that negative 4 to all 3 of them. Okay, negative 5 times b is negative 5b. Negative 5 times c is negative 5c. Now I got to do all this mess over here. Negative 4 times 3b. Well, negative 4 times 3 is negative 12, and then there's a b. Negative 4 times negative 2 is positive 8, and there is a c. Then finally, negative 4 times 1 is negative 4. So we distributed to all of those. Now we got to combine like terms using our variables first in alphabetical order. So in this case, the b's come first. So negative 5b and negative 12b makes negative 17b. Then we have the c's. Negative 5c and 8c make a positive 3c. And then negative 4. That's it. Okay. So that is your notes on combining like terms. We did a little distribution in there too, but that's addition and subtraction and multiplication of like terms.